We are live and in color. This is Champ Franklin, and we are here. Intimate Discoveries, Unveiling Connections. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for the love. We appreciate you. I have one of my greatest friends, a guest who has been on this journey towards intimacy. And when we met, she had her perspective, and how we came about was through a mutual friend. And as soon as she heard me speaking, she was like, I need to know that guy. And from there, it was love at first sight or first conversation. And we've been just having a great time being friends, really helping each other with our platforms, with our message. She's doing great things down in Florida and all over the world. Has one of the top podcasts on Spotify, and is continuing to do great things all over the world, making lives present, making people understand their human experience. And without further ado, I bring on to you Rachel. Ow! Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Franklin, can you hear me?
Can I hear you? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
It says that you are connected.
Yeah.
Unmute your mic. There we go. You are muted. Now come on, talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
I'm talking.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Talk it up a little bit more. Come on.
Oh, I need to be louder?
No, I hear you. I hear you in there, but you're faint.
Oh, you hear me, but I'm faint. Okay. How about now?
You are low. Let me
Low.
see if there's a way I can turn up my volume
I've got it
here.
all the way up.
Huh?
I've got mine turned all the way up.
Well, why don't you do this here?
Okay. What
Uh,
are you doing?
Come on, Facebook. Can you go Facebook Live? Because I hear you. Hold on. Let me see. Unmute. I'm trying to see why your audio is coming in so low.
So fancy. I don't know.
Say that again.
I just came on Facebook Live.
Hold on. Let me see. Volume. Keep going. Let me see. Let me hear you. Say something.
Okay. Hey, what's up? Franklin, how are you? Hey,
I
what's
hear
up?
you. I hear you, Rachel. But you're coming in low,
How are you?
right?
Um, I don't know. I've got my earbud on.
Oh. So why don't you do this here? Can you come in on Facebook Live?
I'm on
Can
Facebook.
you, yeah, I'm on Facebook right now.
Me too.
You are. Let me see here. Let me see here. Find a friend. Rachel. RH. Rachel Hunter. Invite. I just sent you the invitation. Come on. Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right, I sent a request
You just sent me the request.
on Facebook.
Where are you? I got two people on. Viewers. Uh-oh, there you go. Um, I don't see the invitation. I don't see you on there. Oh Lord, pray for me, Father. Where are you?
All right, Go to your notifications on Facebook.
Huh?
Go to your notifications on Facebook.
Go to my what?
Your notifications on Facebook.
Okay, notifications. Let me see here. Notifications.
And do you see a request for Rachel?
Notifications. I can't see. Are you on it right now?
Yes, I'm on your live. I see you. You got your bow tie on.
Yes. Okay. Let me see if I see you now. Share broadcast. Share live broadcast with friends. All right. So that's it right there. But I don't see you on here.
Do you have okay, let me comment.
There you go. Hey.
So can you like tap on the name and invite to broadcast on Facebook?
There we go. There you go. Here you come. Bring in the videos. Send invite. There you go. I just sent you the invite. Adding Rachel.
Join as presenter.
Sir. And look, you know what? You just came in loud.
It's loud.
No, you're good. No, you're good to go now. You came off of there. You good to go. Perfect.
Hang on. I've got a delay. So I'm still on the pod.
You know what? You came in so loud and clear now.
Myself.
Rachel. Hey. Whatever you did, you came in clearer there. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me unmute you. Hey, Rachel.
Yeah, one
Yeah, one
second.
second.
Oh no, no, stay there, stay there. You're good. You're good now. You're good.
Is
You're
it good now?
absolutely. Oh, it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining the show today, Rachel. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Really?
Yes.
I think there's a delay still.
No, if you are on, you have your Facebook Live up, right? Take your Facebook Live off, right? Cut that out.
No more Facebook Live.
No more Facebook Live. No,
Okay. And I'm on the Podbean.
you're on the Podbean, and I hear you absolutely
Okay.
perfect.
So we're not doing Facebook Live. We're just doing Podbean.
Podbean, and so when you're here, I can hear you, and you are coming
Okay.
in loud
Perfect.
and clear. Yes, absolutely. Thank
Yay.
you so much. Yes. So introduce yourself. Tell me about you. What's going on? And
Hi.
nice.
Thank you for having me on here, Franklin. I feel so out of sorts that I'm being interviewed and I'm not doing the interviewing.
Oh, you've been interviewed. Yes, absolutely. So what's been new with you? Go ahead. I'm listening.
What's been new with me? Honestly, I've done a lot more self-care and going slower. I'm walking every day. I'm doing yoga daily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot of skincare and reading out of an actual book, not like an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice.
Right. You know, as I was coming home and preparing for this podcast, I felt um like David Letterman, as his show was ending and all of his friends were coming there to support him. Do you remember that? Oh, you
It was a
remember?
long
Yeah,
time ago.
it was a long time ago. Yeah, but anyhow, it just
Yeah.
feels good to have a friend like you to come on and support the broadcast, and share your experience, and where you and I came together and we started talking about intimacy, and I you learned a lot over the course of our time.
I guess it's been almost a year, hasn't it, Franklin?
It has been almost a year, and
Mm-hmm.
over a year now. Absolutely. And so, so when you and I first met, your journey on from intimacy, I know, um, how is that? How has our relationship transformed your perspective?
Mm. To be quite honest, Franklin, I don't even remember who she was. And
Mm.
I don't even remember the conversations that I was having. I don't remember the struggles that I thought that I might have had at that time. I just know who I am now, and it feels really damn good.
Feels really good, really damn good. All right, so tell us how you feel
Hmm.
now coming into this new awakening of intimacy. And so, for our listeners, our definition of intimacy is that intimacy is a level of commitment, positive, effective, cognitive, and physical closeness that one experiences with a partner in a reciprocal relationship. And so, and there are four major components of intimacy, which includes cognitive intimacy, which is just exchanging thoughts one with another in a reciprocal relationship. And then there is emotional intimacy, which is rooted in self disclosure and just sharing feelings and emotions with a person, with a partner in a reciprocal relationship. And then there is sexual intimacy, which is choosing to share one's body in the form of touch, affection, and sexual activities. And then there's spiritual intimacy, which is rooted in morality and religion and things of that nature. So when we delivered that, and I remember when you and I were talking, and I share with you, I say that intimacy is a level of commitment, and then I said to you, I said, Rachel, the person has to be committed to helping you to feel safe. And when you understood that there was no more, you had no more arguing, there's no more raising of the voice. How is that? How are you now in your quest for love and relationships?
It's exciting,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel more powerful
Mm-hmm.
knowing that no matter what I decide to experience, it is being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the spectrum here, Franklin, everything that could ever fulfill me is guaranteed now that I know more about cultivating a committed level of intimacy.
Wow. Wow. So what you're saying now that you have this revelation that intimacy is a commitment, and that you once you and this person identifies that we're in an intimate relationship, that that person is going to reciprocate, that's going to be committed to reciprocity and
Hmm.
helping you to experience fulfillment on the cognitive, emotional, sexual, and spiritual level. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I guess so.
And so if we looked at, so when you look out in your audience, and what kind of challenges are you seeing in the modern age right now, the difficulties that some women have with reaching the apex of where you are?
Mm, that's a great question. Well, if we're looking at it from the human perspective, I feel, and let's look at the
Mm-hmm.
feminine human perspective. There's a large group of females that believe they have to sacrifice emotional intimacy to fulfill the sexual intimacy portion because the man is unwilling to fulfill the emotional intimacy.
Mm.
And that leads to resentment and bitterness and going out of your way to do something that you wouldn't normally do just because you feel like you have to in order to have that relationship. But it's not the relationship that the woman is craving, it's the closeness,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm.
desire to feel close to somebody. And it's not just emotional closeness or a physical closeness, it's just having this all encompassing feeling of like, hey, I'm being seen right now on all levels without fear of judgment, no matter what. And so is my partner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're looking for.
So how does that? And that's thank you for sharing that part. It's very profound, because we know in this age of where men are not really given permission to feel, and we're in this adversarial position, whereas you know I'm fed, I can't trust a woman, and you're fed, or women are fed, you can't trust a man, and you got to look for these things, and you know you got to throw a red flag, or you got to make sure that when you go on a date with this person, you make sure you have at least three red flags with you so that you can identify those and throw those red flags, because if you see a red flag when you throw it, then that
Oh,
tells you to get out
Franklin,
of
Franklin, that's so 2023, baby. We're not talking about red flags.
what. Okay, okay.
We're
So
talking
I
about green flags.
we're talking about
This is
green
what
flags. Oh my gosh,
men get
yes,
right. This is what women get right. We're in 2024. Keep up, baby.
yes, we're getting it right. We're looking for green flags, and
And I thank you for bringing up the men having permission to feel and to really tag upon that. The masculine hasn't been taught about other levels of intimacy, and here you are teaching the masculine about the other levels of intimacy because it simply is not talked about. So other than sexual intimacy, that's all they believe is intimacy is.
mm-hmm.
Even women too.
Yeah, some women don't understand intimacy at that level as well. And so when I was studying clinical sexuality and master sexpert through the Dr. Rachel Institute, and I came across Maslow's hierarchy of need. And as I was aligning emotion, you know, the different levels of intimacy with Maslow's hierarchy of need, I discovered, which is why we have intimate discoveries. I discovered that the safety need and the emotional need, the feeling of loving and belonging, is which is aligned with the emotional intimacy. That is the most neglected area in the relationship, and we can't, unless we have that safe space, we can't really have that feeling of loving and belonging together, if that makes
Right.
sense. And so at the top of that hierarchy is self-actualization, which makes it room for creative activities, which I put sexual intimacy at the top. And so because we have this need to have sex, but we have this unfulfilled sexual, this emotional need, in order for us to at least not appear to have a sexless marriage or a sexless relationship, we have to then skip over we have to, like you were saying, we have to forego the emotional connection. And we know what happens when you have unfulfilled emotional sex with someone, right?
Well, I know what happens. I can't even get wet whenever I'm not feeling connected to a partner emotionally. And, who wants to be having intimacy sexually with an unwet female? I don't know anybody.
Right, and you're absolutely right. But you know what? Oftentimes we're not value. because of the way sex is sold or portrayed in the world, it doesn't provide that value to the woman because most of the information that we're fed is one sided, and so to say
Right.
that um, I want to experience a really wet woman for extreme pleasure for both of us,
Mm-hmm.
then there's a process that we have to go through, and that process is helping her to feel safe and
Mm-hmm.
helping him to feel safe. And when you experience that level of closeness, then we know what happens, right?
Mm-hmm. Fireworks.
Fireworks, and but the thing is that we when we talk about when men, where I grew up, men would talk about how many women that they would have, and we call the body count and all this other stuff. And so the thing what I started talking to men about is I'm like, okay, I know you have having sex with all these women, but how many repeat customers do you have? And
Ooh.
if you really knew,
Ooh. I
yes,
like that.
if you really knew what you were doing, how many repeat customers do you really have?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's when and the reason why the repeat customers are low um is because one, we don't have a customer service department where we're able to provide that safe space where the woman can come in and explain to her how she wants to be treated so that she can come and spend more time or more resources or more touching or more invigorating experiences to this relationship or to this interaction. But I don't see that happening a lot in relationships where and again I go back to me. I heard it, but the value system that I grew up with didn't support the information that I was hearing, and so it made it difficult for me to be consistent in providing that safe space or that customer service department where I can actually be interested in her fulfillment. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
Say more, please.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that um, because again, men have you know, well, I know that for a fact that particularly black men have the highest number of sexual partners of all different men, and and the reason one of the reasons that I found is that we have those many partners is because of because we have this desire to feel connected to someone, but we lack the emotional intelligence to be committed and consistent with one person. And therefore, when we get to that foreign area, we have to then retreat from that relationship because we don't have an emotional vocabulary, and we can't make those emotional connections because we don't know what it really means to be connected.
Hmm. Got a couple of things that have come up. Would you like to hear?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear.
Well, to comment on the last thing that you said about black men having a higher body count, and you feel like it's because you're lacking the emotional intelligence and communication vocabulary to
Hmm.
progress in a relationship. What if, I mean, this is just from the outside looking in, what if it is because of not being able to have repeat customers because you think that you're satisfying the woman all day with your big dick, and you just can't satisfy her in that way because you're not doing anything.
Right. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and that's
So you
um
just keep going through the women.
you just keep going through the women, and but again, as I learned that only 6% of women actually find true pleasure in that,
That's right. From penetration alone. We've talked
from
about this
just
before.
penetration alone. There's the statistics are out there. It's when it said that I heard that um it said that only a third of women experience an orgasm on a consistent basis.
Mm. It's so
But
sad.
when Yeah, it is so sad. However, but when men spend an additional 20 minutes of foreplay and interaction with her, it goes from a third to 90%.
Mm.
Just spending
Okay.
those additional 20 minutes with her prior to engaging in any type of penetration.
Okay. And to go beyond that, we've talked about the different arousal zones and the different networks that are involved within foreplay. And maybe you can touch on those in just a moment. Personally speaking, for me, Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
a brief conversation really goes a long way. So like even leading up to a sexually intimate situation, even before any type of foreplay, even before my nipples are caressed or sucked or
Mm-hmm.
touched or whatever, even before that happens, it's having a conversation and like being, hey, I know this is a real person, and they're choosing to take a moment from their day to give a shit
Mm-hmm.
about me.
Right. Right.
And so there's a lot that goes before even getting to that arousal state, before the
Mhm.
bedroom, before the clothes are off. It happens when the clothes are on.
You're absolutely right. And so, as we talk about those 14 arousal zones, one of the biggest, well, the biggest arousal zone that a woman has is her brain.
Mm,
And so, when you're engaging in that conversation, when you're helping her to feel like she's a real person, and you care about her interaction and care about her well being, that does create some level of arousal. How does it feel when I am listening to you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Or when you live, when, just, amen.
what did you just say?
No, I know. But anyway, leave it there, because it's gonna get,
Okay,
amen and a woman. No, but
we'll
what?
just skip that one.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one just for the sake
Little
of.
skippy skip.
Oh my god, that is a lot of fun. It's funny. But
Yeah.
I just think that. So, what would you say to men? What they're missing out on? That fulfillment, that true releasing of the femininity.
Mm. It's not that men are missing anything. Men are not missing the mark. They're hitting it. They're just not hitting it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And with the feminine, safety is about repetition. And going even into the cognitive levels, yes, repetition. Okay, we're getting fed every day. We're drinking water every day. We're getting nurtured and nourished every day from sustenance.
Mm-hmm.
And the emotional intimacy, okay, is it every now and then? Is it something that we can count on? Is it something that we know that we can expect, that are you my person when I'm having a
Mm-hmm.
moment, that I can reach out to you, that you're going to get me to my best space?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you? Because if you're expecting to use KY jelly for the rest of your life, then there's really no need for you to have a woman at all.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, And there is a way in which a woman creates those juices on her own just by you, like you say, being actively engaged with her, right?
Well, I'd be really interested to see like a habitual pornography user that's just really used to pleasuring themselves. They're used to a false lubricant because
Mm-hmm.
you really can't masturbate without lubrication. I mean, I know some people do. I can't personally though. Like I like it wet. So I'd be
Mm-hmm.
really curious to see like a case study of, let's say, a man that's been using a an artificial lubricant, and he thinks that when he is with an actual woman that he can continue just using this lubricant. Oh well, she's getting a little bit dry, so let's use some false lubrication. But in reality, the woman's getting a little bit dry because the man is not fulfilling the committed portion of that intimacy on all four levels.
You're absolutely right. And he's not that person who is I've actually had a client who couldn't experience an orgasm with his woman, and she was doing everything that she possibly could to get him there, but he couldn't do it. And so what I asked him was, I say, when you look at porn, what part of that gets you really going? And then he of guess of course he told me, and then I say, so what's happening right now is that because you're fast forwarding to that part where the cream pie or whatever happens, because you're fast forwarding to that part, you're missing all of the interaction that happens before that. And so what I suggested was that you have to now don't you have to train yourself not to fast forward to what you consider to be the good part, and you got to be able to weather the storm, so that you can retrain your mind to be engaged in this pre climactic period. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
And so helping him to do that really helped him. And like you were saying with this false lubrication, you're thinking, because you're training your mind, you're training your body how to get aroused,
Hmm.
and self stimulation without a natural organic experience um, can really ruin a person's ability to connect with somebody.
Mm.
Have
Hmm.
you ever like, no, let's, I don't want to go back in the past. I'm like, I want to know.
What you
Um,
got? Bring it on. I'll let you
no,
know if I got something for you.
no, I want to know, like, looking forward, right? Looking at the dream experience. Um,
Mm.
what does that look like? Um, in a really true intimate relationship.
Hmm. That's a wonderful question, Franklin. Thank you for asking that. And it's something that I've been asking myself a lot lately of what do I want? What do I expect? And what do I know that I'm experiencing with my dream man? Because right now, from my perspective, Franklin, I am somebody's wife.
Mm-hmm.
I am in a deeply committed relationship that continues to get better and better as it keeps getting better to better, better and better. And it's an expansive experience of knowing that, hey, I know that as I'm in my best space and my partner is in their best space, like it's literally magic.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to have these experiences together that, maybe I am literally just wearing a t-shirt and my hair is in a ponytail, and maybe I'm just eating like a bowl of fruit, and maybe it's not a very sexy picture,
Mm-hmm.
but we could still have amazing sex right then and there and have very fulfilled juices and everything's going on because we have this level of safety within both of us. No matter
Mhm.
how we're showing up and who we're showing up as, we are still committed to each other.
You're
And
absolutely right. Go
I've
ahead.
got more. You
More.
want me to keep going?
Yeah, I want you to bring more. I know you have more. Let's give us more.
There's always more, and that's the cool thing about intimacy is that even though you get to this safe, intimate space, there's still the potential for more because that's why we're here. We're here to keep having more and more and more.
Yes.
So the dream of intimacy and the dream relationship and the dream man, it's all inclusive, and
Mhm.
it is very like consistent. You know what to expect. It's consistent. Let's say for example, like you're raising a child, you're raising a baby. We are
Mhm.
trained, the baby gets trained that when they have a cue or they make a noise or they have something, you can know what to expect in return. They practice this with lab rats and science experience experiments that through certain triggers and through certain repetitions, you know what to expect. And
Mhm.
so in the relationship for me, it's like, hey, I know that I can expect that no matter what, like I can go a week without talking to my man because maybe he's overseas and I can't get into contact with him for whatever reason. I'm not worried and he's
Mhm.
not worried, that we have this level of understanding with one another that yes, we're faithful, yes, we're committed, yes, we care about each other, and yes, we want each other to be in our best space. And so it's what am I doing on a regular basis to ensure that my man knows I am his, no matter what. And the
And
same
that
goes for him to me.
and that's sharing that unique, intimate expression. And like you said, it keeps getting better and better and better.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful experience that one can have in a reciprocal relationship. There is one very important part that one must possess and experience in order for that relationship to continue to grow and to flourish and experience this part of euphoria that is unlimited, and that is vulnerability. How can you lay the space for a man where he could really feel vulnerable and not get weirded out?
That's a great question. And I've been practicing this. And so I've got a couple of points to share about it.
Okay, I'm listening. Give us a couple points.
Well, right away, the vulnerability starts with mirroring. So you can mirror what they're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that a man does that might be vulnerable, opening a door for a woman is kind of vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Letting the woman go in first and you're just out there waiting in the cold or the heat, like that can be a vulnerable experience.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it seems simple,
Mm-hmm.
it's still there. And it's acknowledging and saying, thank you. I see you. I see that you did that. Thank you. And continuing to choose and acknowledging those small things for the man and helping them to say or helping them to see that, hey, okay, she notices me doing these things for her. She's being grateful. And I've been using a lot lately outside of just a masculine relationship, even with new friendships with girlfriends, saying, is there anything you'd like to share?
Mm.
That's highly effective, Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah.
And holding space for that conversation, whether it's with a man or about vulnerability or not. And also it's showing you're leading the way with vulnerability, and maybe you can open up about something as the feminine of something that you might be a little bit nervous about or scared about or maybe something happened and you aren't comfortable sharing about it yet, but
Mhm.
you're acknowledging it.
Yes. Rachel, you literally brought me to tears. Talking about being vulnerable with just someone opening the door for you, right? And um, and you're opening the door for him, or I'm opening the door for a woman, and they're at that moment they're mirroring their vulnerability, and saying thank you. I really appreciate you doing that. Come in, let me give you a hug, or let me kiss you, or whatever. And to have that reciprocity, oh my gosh, it would be the most sensational feeling. Um, I'm just now imagining opening the door for this woman who I'm going out with and being with, and she just again shares what that feeling created in her just by me being genuine and opening the door for her.
Hmm.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it just touched my heart just to have that mirrored.
And it's
And
so
and
simple. It's so
mm-hmm.
simple.
But how many of us take advantage of those simple moments?
Exactly. Exactly. One thing, like, as I've been dating, I gratitude has been the biggest enjoyment for me on a date. And just being so
Mm-hmm.
thankful, like, you know, for a woman to truly be in her feminine and allow the receiving and to really lean back and be in her best space, it does take a man that is extremely vulnerable and also strong and powerful, that to take on everything that the woman is releasing. So when the woman is in her feminine, she's literally saying, hey, take care of all of this for me, my big strong man. And in the reward, the feminine, you're going to get showered with love and affection and kisses. You're going to get showered with beautiful blowjobs and whatever it is. Like, that is the reciprocation that comes from the femininity, because as we are releasing that receiving and
Mm-hmm.
allowing the receiving and going, taking our masculine and saying, hey, I'm going to put my masculine over here because you are the masculine. I don't need my masculine because you are taking care of that for me.
Right. And I can see the beauty in in that relationship, and having a woman who is grateful, and not to the point where it's like, well, I don't need you to do that. I can pay for somebody to do this. But really showing a sense of gratitude that he's making effort for you. He could be any other place, but he's trying to get it right with you for this moment. Um, it really can go a long way.
Yeah.
And there, you say that there was more in there. Let's. What else do you have in there, Rachel?
Do I? I don't know if I have
Yeah.
anything else. I'm just like imagining an intimate situation with a man and what would really help me to feel comfortable and safe and open up, because I honestly believe that there's so many women that are unfulfilled sexually because they don't feel safe opening up about maybe a sexual desire or a fantasy or a
Mm-hmm.
preference. And whenever a man can put me in my true feminine and allow me to just relax and rest and not make decisions, because I'm making decisions all goddamn day for my children
Mm-hmm.
and taking care of that and a business and like all this stuff, and like the last thing I want to do is make another decision for a man. This, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to.
Right.
And because I don't want to do that. And if I'm with a part, well, first, I would not be with a partner that would not allow me to be in my feminine like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, feeling like I'm in a safe space, that maybe there is something that I want to open up to sexually or I want to experience with my partner, having that safe space of knowing that my man has got me no matter what, that they're not going to judge me if there's something that I want to experiment with sexually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also part of the intimacy of
Mm-hmm.
feeling like you had the safe space. So, like, whenever the man is putting their woman in a safe space, Franklin, you said it before, the woman is yet to put it on you.
Mm-hmm.
You could be having the most fulfilling sexual experience of your entire life
Yeah,
with hitting those different levels of intimacy.
absolutely. And it begins down at the cognitive level, just having the ability to just hear and listen and validate and allow that person to be right, because they are right what they're sharing with you.
Right, because they believe they are.
Yeah, they were there. You weren't there. You were not there when that happened, and you were not there when mom or someone gave them a perspective or showed them how the type of perspective they should have or outlook they should have on life in regards to, you know, something as simple as sugar on grits, or or salt and pepper on grits, or salt and pepper on rice, or sugar on rice, or whatever. And that's their perspective, and that's the connection that they had. And so now you're going to judge somebody because they're putting um, sugar on their grits, or sugar on their rice, butter and sugar. Um, it's crazy. I know when I was. Let me tell you something, Rachel. Let me tell you something. I lived in Japan for 11 years, right? And
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something now, right? The next time you
Hmm.
have rice, I want you to put some butter and soy sauce on it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's good.
It is absolutely delicious. Absolutely
Are you going
delicious.
to make it for me?
I can. I can. So you just let me know when you want to come over for some rice, and
All
I make
right.
Japanese rice. We'll do it.
Okay.
Hook it up.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, so we've been here almost an hour, and we had a great conversation. I definitely, if there's something that you can leave our listeners, what would
Mm,
that one thing be?
the one thing is, you are the one thing. Regardless of any relationship outside of you, you are still the only one in the equation. And when you choose to love yourself and see yourself in the most divine light, then you're untouchable. Then it doesn't matter what your partner does or doesn't do or forgets to do or does a lot of or does too much of. It doesn't matter, because you are still the one and the only source of it all.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. And we always want to give you your flowers. We want to say thank you, Rachel. Oh, I love it.
You're so fancy.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you, and love is always there. I'm looking forward to another conversation with you. This is our show. This is Champ Franklin, your host on Intimate Discoveries, where every episode is one step closer to you experiencing, watch this, a meaningful relationship. This is Champ Frank, and I am out. I'll call you.